Good up.
This is Channel 253. Beep, boop, boop.
On this episode of the Grit and Grain podcast,
we want to make sure that we are highlighting the fact that Puyallup, for a period in time, was literally the hop capital of the world.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been a while. You know, that was like 100 years ago. But even still, that is...
It's in your DNA, man.
Yeah, I mean, Ezra Meeker, first mayor of Puyallup, was the hop king of the world.
did you know Channel 253 is member supported? I'm producer Doug Mackey, and I hope you will show your support by going to channel253.com/membership and join. Thank you.
Welcome to the Grit and Grain podcast, where we explore and celebrate the craft beer industry, community, and history in Tacoma, Washington, and surrounding Pacific Northwest areas. Thank you so much for hanging out. Let's get to it. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Grit and Grain podcast, coming to you guys from Peaks and Pints in Tacoma, Washington. My name is Matt McLaren. I'm here, of course, with Ron Swarner.
Hi, Matt. Hey, happy late birthday.
Thank you so much.
What did you eat and drink on that special night?
I drank mostly water. I didn't actually drink any beer. Although I got some very good beer for my birthday, which I'm excited to drink.
Nice.
But I ate a big plate full of Southern food. It was fucking awesome.
Excellent.
Yeah, I just turned 35 on Sunday.
Yay.
Suck it, olds.
Sucking it hard.
And Bethany, how's it going?
Good. How
Welcome
are you
back.
guys? Thank you.
How was your week off?
It was good. I've been to Montana and back,
Yeah,
and I bought a new car.
congratulations. Is that all you went to Montana to do?
No, that happened after Montana.
Oh, did you fuck your car up? in
No,
Montana?
we got a rental car. You know, when you get a rental car that's a lot better
awesome.
than what you have, and you're like,
Oh, I'm gonna get one of these.
we need an upgrade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turns out a CX-9 is all I needed. What'd you get?
It is, don't anyone be jealous. It's a minivan.
Some of those are fast these days.
And I could not be more excited about it. All the space and comfort.
Good. Beer mom life.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm sure I'll see it on Instagram.
I know. And Doug, our wonderful producer, is not on mic actually, because we don't have that many microphones. Yeah, thank you guys for hanging out. Always appreciated. If you're ever free, of course, on Wednesday afternoons, come down to Peaks and Pints and have a beer and watch this stuff live. It's fun, and you get to hang out and laugh and talk to our guests live and in person, which is always good. Our guests today are two of my favorite local business owners and two organizers of a very quickly growing in popularity Brewers Festival in the area. So yeah, today we're talking to AJ and Andy, who are the owners of Caskcades out in Puyallup. What's up, dudes?
What's up?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. AJ, how are you, man?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having us.
For sure. Also, Andy, how are you doing?
I'm okay.
I cared
okay.
way
At this
less
point,
about
I was
that.
great until about now.
I was going to ask you what you were drinking, but I don't care how you
I had to
feel.
write it down because I don't have a good memory. But
Yeah, what are you drinking?
Urban Family Forgotten Lore Porter, 5.9%.
You just...
It's great. It's actually great. It's my second pint.
It's because David's in the room. You're like, I'm going to
No.
get this right. AJ, what are you drinking, man?
You know, I'm doing the Grains of Wrath Panopticon Mosaic Fresh Hop. It is fantastic. And I'm not always a big fan of Mosaic beers, so just trying to... They did it just right.
Good. Hopefully everybody's heard Mike's episode. That was a good one.
It was a good
And
one.
Fatheads just keeps on winning.
Yeah.
The legacy at that fucking brewery just continues long after he's been gone.
For sure. Also one of the greatest F-up stories, too.
That is also true. Ron, what do you got?
I've got the Fresh Hop Betty from the old schoolhouse.
From
So good.
The old school house. Yeah, I'm also drinking that, and so is Bethany, because
Yeah.
I made you.
Just so
Yep.
good.
It's so good. This is probably going to be like a capstone fresh hop release, I would assume. But regular Betty is already a fucking masterpiece, in my opinion. And this is delightful. I know we're going to have to find a time to like do some fresh hop wrap up, but we should talk about it today.
This will be at the top, probably.
What else are you drinking, Bethany?
I have the Sig Fresh Hop Pilsner.
Delicious.
It's really good.
Sweet. Thank you guys for coming.
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Can you tell us about Cascades a little bit for anybody who has not been there?
Yeah, I mean, Cascades, we are a cute little place in downtown Puyallup. Focus is craft beer. We've been there a couple years now. And, we're just doing our dangest to be as cool as Ron over here. We're trying.
Yeah.
We're trying.
Swinging for the fences,
Well,
man.
for a room full of games or winning.
Okay. Yeah.
We don't have
How many games do you have in that joint?
Right now, we only have 6.
Okay.
We had more when we started, but during the blip, as I call it, we had to add some coolers, and it took up some gaming space. So,
The Thanos.
But that's always been the focus.
the hope is as we grow that the gaming space
Yeah.
increases. But pinball would be our favorite overall.
Yeah, we try and keep some really well-maintained pinball machines in there.
Yeah, you guys do.
Rotate them through, make sure it's always something new and cool.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But we do the best we can with the space we've got.
Mhm.
One of these days we'll have a huge space, but
Yeah.
it's
Good.
It's down the road.
I love that that's still the plan.
Yeah.
There was a ton of games in there prior to, like you said, the blip. But as everybody's keg sales went down and to-go sales went up, you had to get more fridges.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
means taking up game space.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, man. I've worked with these guys for a little bit, and when I first called Andy and first talked to Andy on the phone, I was a sales rep for Columbia, so I was driving my Bridgeport van around, and I used to sell beer to Powerhouse. I would sell beer and cider to there occasionally for guest taps. And Tara, who was their old GM, was fucking fantastic, so sweet, and was like, great to work with. And she was like, "Hey, my friend's opening up this tap room in downtown Puyallup." And I was like, "Oh, I haven't heard anything about this. You should, tell me more about it and connect me with this person." So I got Andy's number and I called him and I was like, "Hey, this is Matt calling from Columbia. I just wanted to touch base and say hi." And Andy's response was, "It's about fucking time you called me."
Well, I mean, long story short, when we were starting Cascades and we didn't have a liquor license yet, we're reaching out to distributors trying to understand how to run this business. And Justin Burnett, Click, Instant, Sean Alpha, Instant.
Yeah. Okay.
Just
okay.
over and over, not to name drop. But, and then Columbia, just nothing. So my response was, "Hey, yeah, just give me a call in about 2 years, buddy."
Columbia was actually the first one we reached out to.
It was.
But
Nobody told me, man.
It was not to you.
Nobody told me.
It was to whatever line they direct you to. And at the point that we had reached out, we didn't actually have our liquor license yet.
Yeah,
right?
we didn't.
So I'm sure they
were like, "Fuck
saw
you
that.
guys."
Yeah, we're not calling them back. It's just not worth our time.
Call me when you have papers.
Oh, and they did once we had papers. So.
Yeah, of course.
So.
Was it electrical when you first two met?
Yeah, we've known each other almost 20 years now.
Thanks, Ron.
And what do you do when you're not at Cascades?
Sell stuff.
Yeah, we're electrical wholesalers.
And that's the joke.
Yeah.
I didn't get it either.
Yeah, so we're in distribution of electrical parts. So that's what we
I
do.
saw
every
Ron
day.
making a face, but yeah. Okay, now everyone's up. Yeah.
Were sparks
Everyone's with
flying
us.
when you guys first?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Exactly.
Swing the club, then tee it up.
The relationship's really been lightning in a bottle, Ron.
Okay, we got a theme for this episode. Perfect.
How did you meet?
We met at a branch in Puyallup and actually didn't even care for each other at first.
That's not true. I thought Andy was fun, but he did not like me. I was the new guy, and he did not like me coming in there.
Yeah,
Talking shit.
but now we're work wives because we work together at both places. So
That's a good way to put it.
What year was Cascade started?
go ahead.
We incorporated in 2016. It took us a year of planning, of just really talking to people within the industry to figure out, is this something we can get off the ground? And then it took us a year to find the right location,
Mhm.
you know, or the location that we're in now. Whichever way you want to look at it. You know, but,
Right is questionable.
yeah.
You're surrounded by a lot of bars, though. It's an area.
Yeah, and that's I think some of the challenge.
Yeah.
But actually, we found the place because of Bumpy's. So we're friends with Bumpy's, and they had actually leased the space, and they were going to open up a place called Tabs and Taps, and they started, and the city was like, stop, and they were like, oh, we don't want to deal with you, and then called us, and we worked out a deal, and actually subleased from Bumpy's for the first 5 years.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow. Damn. Bumpy says everybody's back all the time.
Yeah.
They're great people.
Oh, Brian and
They're
Heather are great.
great.
So,
Dude, Heather has bailed me out so many times. I have like for sure called her on like a Saturday night, like, hey, you have 4 backup kegs of Coors Light. Can I please come and grab one? And then I'll bring you another one on Monday, which is super illegal, but she would just let me fucking do it. Bumpy's is great. And it was the only place that you could get a shot of Tito's at 8:30 in the morning on a Monday.
Allegedly.
I mean, that was just Monday morning meetings, man.
What was the space before it was Cascades?
It's actually a place called the Golf Lounge. So it was like a little cocktail bar, and you could actually go in there, and they had booths set up, and you could like virtual golf, which is insane to me because there's not a golf course anywhere near there, right? So like, who is just rolling around like, hey, I got my golf clubs and I want to go in here. So naturally that didn't end up working out. For a year, it was a place called Shots.
yeah.
Okay.
And
Shots Bar and Grill.
yeah, they tried to become
Like a hip hop spot in downtown
nightclub.
Puyallup.
Yeah. That didn't work, huh?
I mean, you can pretty much order a shot. Like,
Yeah.
And
Shit.
and so when we came in there, we were like, okay, this was a bar. This should be easy. And then we're like, oh, cool, everything was done illegally. Sweet. So we just
Sweet.
had to rip it all out.
But you can order shots at Cascades, right?
You can. Yeah.
For about a year, almost.
Okay.
We've really strived to. I mean, we want to be a craft beer focused place.
Yeah.
And we always have been. We always will be. But what we wanted to kind of really do as well is, you know, if we are in downtown Puyallup, we are kind of on that bar road, right?
Yeah.
We have to be able to, I guess, deal with those customers that are already down there. We need to be able to cater to them. So we have a very basic, but still craft focused liquor lineup. You know, so if you want some good whiskey, you know, we can do a real old fashioned in there. We can do the basics. If you come in and you want like a AMF or something like that, we're probably not your spot. You know, we're gonna send you down the block.
You're like, go to Bumpy's.
And we're still learning that side of the business because
Something for everybody.
it's definitely an art, and we're not in that art realm yet. So,
What drove you guys to focus on craft beer when you were opening? Like, where was your head at? Because, like, for anybody who doesn't know, Andy and AJ dove, like, really hard into craft beer and, like, got to know all of us really quickly. And there's plenty of businesses and business owners that we all work with, but very few who kind of dug into it the way that you guys did. So where did that come from?
I mean, craft beer actually started more with AJ. I was more of a Bud Light crusher on Sundays. Right? I was getting into Reds and Browns, and that was pretty entry level. And he definitely had more desire and had the idea of a tap room himself. So
I thought I liked craft beer. Turns out,
then you got into the business.
Yeah. Well, no, I still do. But for me, what I thought was craft beer was like Red Hook ESB.
Sure.
You know?
Right.
So I'm like, hey, I'm
Still
over
counts.
here. I'm not.
It was back in the day.
It was, yeah. But that's kind of where I was at. I really liked the way Washington's beer scene was evolving. We have all these cool breweries here. I was a huge Fremont fan.
Yep.
And then I think you really start getting into the business and you're like, this is just the tiniest tip of the iceberg.
Yeah. It's insane when you kind of dig in and you're like, oh, there's like a whole fucking world behind this curtain.
Yeah, and at the time, we were New Ben at Rainier Growlers, and then also Tom Mahoney, who owned Grapes and Growlers and now owns Mahoney Public House down in Camas.
Yeah.
And
Great
so we started
tap rooms.
started balancing and just asking questions. We even asked Ben if are we too close, before we started.
That's awesome.
And then from there, it's just we're in sales and marketing and networking, and we like people, and realized that there was a lot to be had here, and how do we, get to know? I mean, I remember, one of the soft openings, Sean brought, Mac with him, right? And it was our second soft opening, and it was a crap show, right? We had one till, right? And it was just a line out the door because we thought we could operate with one, it'd be easy. Somebody'd order a beer, go make a hot dog, here you go. And it was totally like, and I remember Mac sits down and he's like, hey, cool spot. And I'm like, thanks, man. He's like, that line's bullshit. And at that time, I think P&W Beer Lovers was like 900 members, right? And and it was, in a lot of ways promoted Pint D a lot, right? And me and him talked. It's like, how do we elevate into this industry? And actually, a lot of great people in this industry that have a lot more knowledge than we do.
Agreed. There's so many of them in this room right now. What's up, guys?
Hey, Paul.
I love that. Like I said, there's plenty of people who open beer businesses and don't quite dive in as hard as you guys do. And you started like having industry events immediately, started getting to know everybody, started like, inviting people to bottle shares and stuff like that. Like I always loved that. And, and then you guys started taking your like beer training really seriously. We've talked about that a bunch, obviously off mic, but like, I would come in and do beer trainings, and then you guys would train like the next generation of beer professionals. You guys have had multiple employees leave and go like do other great things in the industry, which is awesome. Because I like, honestly, one of the only other places that really sort of touts that type of reputation is the Red Hot. And it's, they've created a lot of very like decorated beer professionals. And I feel like Caskcades actually does that too. But maybe doesn't, people don't hear about it as often, but.
Well, we are in Mexico. So.
That's true. Which is crazy because Puyallup is like OG beer territory, man.
Yeah.
That's where all the hops came from.
Yeah.
I feel like you guys should have, I don't know. I feel like there should be just as much connection to like the history of beer and craft beer in that area as there is over in Tacoma. And sometimes it gets overlooked.
Well, that's kind of the whole idea behind Brewallup.
I was going to say, if you guys are trying to combat that with a whole separate project now.
Yep.
Yeah, we got a minute. Do you want to talk about Brewallup?
Go ahead. It's AJ's name and idea.
Yeah.
Yep.
I do love the name.
I'll drop a little bit on and then I'll let Andy talk some. So, I mean, Brewallup, we're in our third year, Craft Beer Festival in Puyallup. The name obviously is Brew, Puyallup, right? Pretty easy to make that connection.
Good job, AJ.
Last year we eclipsed about 1,500 people. The year before that, we had about 800.
Nice.
This year, we're hoping to crest 2,000.
Right.
And we're very fortunate. The Chamber of Commerce there is really who puts it on. We're just in the background trying to help secure breweries, trying to make sure it's a successful event. But really, that is kind of the focus, right? We want to make sure that we are highlighting the fact that Puyallup, for a period in time, was literally the hop capital of the world.
Yep.
And it's been a while. That was like 100 years ago. But even still, that is...
It's in your DNA, man.
Yeah. I mean, Ezra Meeker, first mayor of Puyallup, was the hop king of the world, right? So we're just trying to highlight that, make sure that people understand that Puyallup is as central to the beer community here as anybody.
When and where is it?
So it is going to be this year, November 4th, 1 to 7 p.m. You can, if you Google it, you go to brewallup.com, you can get tickets through Eventbrite, and we hope we see everybody there.
Yeah.
How do you decide how many breweries to invite and how many beers to pour?
For the most part, we, reach out and see who says yes, and then we kind of go from there.
Shave it down from
ultimately, we want to keep growing. The Showplex is a very large space, and we have a lot of space to expand because it is indoors, which the breweries love. Plus, we did it in November because the Washington Brewers Guild does the Craft Beer Summit the Friday before.
Yep.
So we always piggyback to that because some of the breweries are always going to be here to kind of just make that a whole craft beer weekend. And so
Which is
November
awesome.
3rd, the Friday, the after party for the Craft Beer Summit is at Caskcades, and a lot of the breweries come down. It's a pretty fun event, and so really, I think our goal is ultimately to get up to 40. I think we're about 27 or 28 this year.
28 right now.
And then we have food trucks, live music, and it's a
You guys
really
had
good.
some smoking food trucks last year.
And it's a really good show, and it's new to us, and it's fun, and it just highlights how much awesome stuff is around this area.
What size is the taster?
That depends. I mean,
The
last
important
year
question.
they had like a pretty sweet deal for $10. You got a pint glass, and I think the first keg to blow last year was BBIS from Rubens. So because all the big hitters realized that they could get pints of BBIS for one-time payment of $10.
That's a bang for your buck city, man.
You're getting like 8 tickets for $35, and then they hand you for another $10. They give you this pint glass, and you're like, okay, so I mean, it's
So I'll
like
have
3
8
glasses
pints
over here, Rubens,
for
and I was-
$40.
Yeah, Larry Rock was just like, but we have a lot of great breweries and everything from small independent to larger breweries, and it's great to see. So
Yeah. It's nice to see a festival with increasing attendance numbers these days. I feel like Brewallup is maybe on a short list of festivals where more people are coming this year than previous year. It seems like such a crazy thing, but why do you guys, I mean, you're kind of in your infancy in this festival, but why do you feel like attendance is like kind of growing so rapidly every time you do it?
Part of it's just that area, right? I mean,
so?
you look at it, Rainier Growlers was really the pioneer of craft beer in our area, right? We're
Sure.
fortunate enough to be downtown. We're right in the footprint of really what the Chambers is trying to kind of promote, right?
Yeah.
And so we're fortunate enough to be part of that evolution. And I mean, even still now, we're just constantly trying to convert that Bud Light drinker, that Coors drinker, that Miller Lite drinker,
Mhm.
And so we just have so many potential customers that really haven't been exposed to craft beer the way that the people here in Tacoma have,
That makes
or
total
in other
sense.
areas, right?
That
And
makes
so
total sense.
you get them in there and they're like, holy crud, this is amazing, you
Yeah.
know? And so we're just still kind of scratching the surface with that. And I think that festival has been really instrumental in doing that. Chambers makes it really accessible. It's not super expensive. They're doing food trucks. They're doing live music. This year, I think they even have the cornhole tournament.
I think so.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
Cornhole 253s down there doing like their I guess their finals for the year, right? And so they just try and make it accessible, even if you're not necessarily like a huge beer drinker. It'll be fun. You can come down and watch music.
Mhm.
And we have more
Definitely try some
cideries
stuff.
this year because last year that was the problem. We didn't have enough cideries.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Good call.
So I think we're up to 5 now on the cider side. So
Nice.
And yeah, just keep evolving it. And, we like to compete against things the fair does. So,
So you're gonna have pig races.
no, we asked, but they didn't approve it. So,
And we talk about hammer slogging, but it's not in the cards.
Just guns.
Yeah, seriously. Well, I'm pretty sure we're going to be there this year
I hope so.
for a little live show. So if you guys haven't yet, grab your tickets to Brewallup and come watch us. We're going to open the show. It's going to be awesome, and I'm super excited. I kind of want to. Oh yeah, okay. We're going to take a super quick break, but we'll be back and talk beer gossip type shit. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Hello. This is Eric Hanberg of Channel 253 here with sound producer Doug.
Hi.
Hi, we are here to tell you about membership to Channel 253, and we're talking really fast because we know you want to get back to the podcast.
That's exactly right. You get to be on the members Slack channel, which is really banging, and you get to listen to the members only podcast Off the Record hosted by me.
That's right. It's just $4 a month or $40 a year. Channel253.com/membership. Thank you for listening. I hope you'll consider joining. Please check it out.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out on the break. Quick shout out to Doug, our wonderful producer. Yay, Doug. We love and appreciate you. And the Channel 253. I know you heard about it on the break, but please do support Channel 253. It's all member supported. They absolutely deserve all of your love and support because they keep Tacoma connected through their wonderful network of podcasts. And it's amazing. We have fresh beer in front of us.
Yes, we
Yay.
do.
Andy, what are we drinking, man?
The curse.
Tell the story. Tell the story.
I get this one.
Why is this called the curse? And
So the
what is it?
curse, the curse. I mean, I believe it's been mentioned before. I think on RG's podcast, but the curse is, I love all our collabs, but us and RG always said if we ever did a collab, it had to be barrel aged. We couldn't just do an IPA or something.
Yeah.
So the curse came about because at the time. Jeff Lee hit up Midnight Sun, and Lee up there was like, we're down. Let's do a barrel aged barley wine. And so we planned it. You were coming.
I was supposed to come.
Ben was coming. Jonathan at Full Throttle Bottle. AJ.
I was also supposed to
I think
come,
we intended to
actually.
invite Sean at the Parkway, but he doesn't have email or anything. So, so then we planned the curse, and we were going up January 2020.
It wasn't called that at this point.
No,
though.
at that point, it was just we're going to do a barrel aged barley wine. And so we fly up in January. At the time, AJ had to bow out because his grandma had just passed, and it was important to close that door. I think you got
I had a court
subpoenaed
date.
to court. Yeah.
It was
And so I had rented this big house because it's super cheap up there that time of year, and it was like enough to fit 9 of us, and then it ended up being me, Ben, and Jonathan from Full Throttle Bottle to do the original brew.
Because everybody else had some shit
So we get up there that morning, and we get checked into the house. It was me and Ben because Jonathan was flying in later, and so then we're going to go to Midnight Sun because they have amazing lunch. And so I hit up Jeff Lee and say, hey, we're in town. Him and Jason from OE were there, and he's like, all right, I'll meet you at Midnight Sun. And so we get to Midnight Sun, we start ordering. Jeff doesn't show up. Phone rings, it's Jeff, and he's like, man, I got to go home. My dad just passed away, right? And we're like, oh crap, right? And so we're like, oh, that's heavy. And so we go to brew the next day, and we're brewing. And about noon that day, Jason comes up and he's like, guys, I got to fly home. I think my mom just had a stroke. And we're just like, what the heck is going on?
Yeah,
and so then we're like, okay, this is great, And so it's me and Ben and Jonathan brewing and finishing it with the Midnight Sun boys, and then Lee comes up and he's like, hey, just so you know, this is going to have to sit in stainless for a week because the ship that's carrying the fresh cognac barrels from France and fresh port barrels from France just crashed in the ocean. and I'm just like,
insane,
And
dude.
so at the end of this brew, we're like, what are we going to call it? And I said, this whole damn thing's been cursed, right?
Yep.
And so from that came the curse, and we put it in 50% cognac barrels, 50% port barrels, and then came home, right? And then of
About
course, a month or so later, March 17th, I remember it forever. St. Patrick's Day, why not? And closed down the state, right? And then sat in barrels longer than we intended. And I think even you, when we finally scheduled it up in February 21 to fly back, he's like, you need to get up there and release this so we can be free.
I know.
Wow. Whoa.
And so we bottled the beer. We wax dipped Midnight Sun's only wax dip beer to date. And Lee was like, hey, you want to take a couple bottles back? And I'm like, I'm not bringing that shit on a plane. Crazy. I'm going to go home and see my family. It'll be with us there, right? And so then obviously we come back, they ship it down, we release it, and 4 days later the state was free. So
and the vaccine got announced,
and the release
the
of
same
the curse
week.
happened. So I mean, it was definitely obviously look at the bottle. It's got the logos. It's got Jeff Lee's dad. And actually now there's a reschedule of another collab. So we've arranged with Lee at Midnight Sun and Ben at RG and Ron at Peaks and Pints as of tonight. And we're hopeful that Jonathan at Full Throttle Bottle, and then we're going to hit up Levi at Oli Tap Room.
Good.
And we're going to go up to brew the Cure, which is a barley wine barrel aged stout blend.
Nice.
So that should happen right before the Barley Wine Festival in February. So
Looking forward to that.
That's going to be awesome.
So don't get subpoenaed to court, huh?
Ron on his Walter White shit right before.
I mean, you can read the label. There's not many bottles out there except in my basement. But cheers to the curse.
That's-
So-
Cheers.
Cheers
Cheers.
indeed, man.
It's one of the
Such fucking
coolest
insane.
beer stories I've heard in a long time.
I did. I joked like the whole time, like you guys are gonna pull the barrels off the rack and the Jumanji drums are gonna be playing and shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, the minute you guys put that in bottles, like we're all gonna be saved. And then like I think it was like the
4
vaccine
days
it
later.
was like 4 days later.
Yeah.
And I was like, I sent Andy a screen cap and I was like, oh my god, you did it.
So we have to consume it all. So we're all
Well,
safe.
even in the label,
Right.
if you read it, it'll say "Do not sell or release."
Yeah, drink immediately.
And so I'm selling it, so I'm just keeping it floating around.
Taking one for the whole team.
But that
No,
is-
more like that's why it's still floating around, right? We need to get that out of your basement.
Mhm.
Yeah,
um,
before Halloween. It's a very Halloween-y
but yeah,
story.
it's definitely a beer I'll never forget. So
Yeah,
Man,
Jesus, I
that's
can't
crazy.
imagine.
Yeah.
And it's drinking beautifully. I like
Yeah.
Mhm.
time has been really good to this beer actually. I remember it being super punchy and like
well, it had a nice dryness of the port, and you really got
Yeah.
the cognac. And I miss some of the dryness actually of it, but it's
Dude,
still
I-
it's still aging well.
yeah, it blended together really well.
Well, Midnight Sun knows how to make good beer.
Yeah, seriously. Like, I miss having regular access to Midnight Sun down
Yeah.
here. All their stuff is so good. Okay, well, we should. It was weird that we didn't say anything last week about it, but we were having too much fun talking with Larry. But there's like been weird beer news over the last week, and you guys are relatively close to it. But a lot of folks listening probably know of Half Lion, and they just kind of abruptly closed about a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago. And it was all kind of still developing last week when we were talking to Larry, but. It's still, I mean, everything is still kind of up in the air, it seems like. I feel like there's probably
Did they
people
actually close?
I don't know. I don't know. I was curious if you guys had heard anything since you're like so close.
I mean, we haven't heard anything. I haven't reached out to Adam or anything. But yeah, we don't really know what's going on.
Yeah.
Obviously it's a different time for breweries these days.
Totally.
Things are changing in the market, between canned cocktails and mocktails and a whole genre of people that go out and drink non-alcoholic stuff and party all night.
On their NA shit.
Yeah. And so, we know that, brewery costs have gone up, and
Totally.
you could only charge so much for a pint if it's not a barley wine. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, they had a lot of marketing power. They had a lot of presence.
Mhm.
But we don't really necessarily know what's going on. We haven't reached out and discussed.
I mean, the day that it got announced, he texted me and he goes, "Hey, do you see this?" I'm like, "Yeah, I saw it."
Mhm.
I told him, I said, honestly, they tried to follow the Silver City method, right? Like they wanted to be this brewery that had this great access to facilities, right? They wanted to be a packaged beer.
Mhm.
They just never maybe necessarily hit
Yeah.
that sweet spot that Silver City found.
Sure.
But that was kind of like the path they tried to follow. They tried to get into the stadiums. They were
They did.
at that point they were at T-Mobile, right?
Yeah.
They got into the Seahawks Stadium, right? They got into
Airport.
Lumen, right? They got into the airport. They were even doing, I want to say, the flagship beer for the Thunderbirds. So they had a great idea,
Right.
and I just think that unfortunately they fell short of the mark, right?
Mhm.
And maybe that's some of what's going on in the
Everywhere.
market at all, right?
Yeah.
It's more expensive to brew it. Some of the luster of craft beer has been taken away by seltzers, right?
Mhm.
Cider has continued to grow, and I just think that this market maybe got a little oversaturated with breweries.
Sure. We have people listening kind of all over the country, like Philly and Atlanta and
We're huge in
and
New York.
Yeah, apparently we're big in New York.
Hi, New York.
I know, right? We appreciate you. Thank you.
Tacoma.
But so I imagine a lot of people see the same type of stuff as like breweries that like seem to just be like kind of crushing it. They're everywhere, just sort of abruptly close. And it's crazy, and it's probably something that is happening everywhere, and it's weirdly, like you said, indicative of like the current state of the market. And we've had weird consolidations and sales of breweries that have been around for forever, and then closures of breweries that seem to like have been around for forever. Two Beers just prior to Half Lion.
Yeah.
And like we've talked, so actually the last time that Jeff was on, we talked about his CBC trip, where the economist for the Brewers Association kind of did the Gold Rush is Over lecture, basically.
Right.
Like first year beer consumption is down in like 50 years, which to me, like people see, and like Phaedra, we talked about this a little bit too, is like, you sort of see breweries closing like this and you're like, fuck, it's the end of craft beer. It seems so like apocalyptic.
Right.
But it's also like, I think it's just indicative of, and this is where I agree with the economist from the Brewers Association, is that it's not really like the gold rush is over, but it doesn't really mean anything is ending. It just means that now it's transitioning into like a competitive business.
Yeah,
it's a competitive industry now.
Yeah.
And so it's not enough anymore to just be like the local craft brewery.
Yeah.
Access, especially in a place like Washington or New York or Atlanta, access to really good beer is like pretty substantial.
Right.
And there's 500 breweries that exist in this state, and there's 500 more that have certificates of approval in this state. You can buy 1,000 different breweries beer, and most of it is pretty good.
Right.
And so, like, I think a lot of it, I mean, a lot of folks have heard now that, like, Jason even acknowledged, like, the quality stuff in his email, which I thought was a little funky, but I feel like it's a good chance to, like, for a lot of breweries, if they feel like they're struggling, is to go back to the drawing board on quality.
And I think,
really
I think
Ron
Ron can contest in the taproom life. The artwork sells the first can and the juice sells the rest. Right?
Totally.
And sometimes the best juice is in the can that doesn't have the artwork, and you have to push that more.
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
And,
I have that fight with breweries all the time.
Yeah. And,
White space.
Hey, can you stop using PowerPoint to make your fucking beer labels, please?
I know Half Lion has been working on their quality. It's been a slow progress.
Mm-hmm.
They had the golf course even that I think was doing really well.
I know.
So I think it'll be time to tell what happens with that, because there's been him and hawing on if it's even closing, right?
Yeah.
And what changes they'll make to exist if they do stick around.
Right. Which was the last word when Kendall posted about it at Washington Beer Blog. He said, "Don't jump to any conclusions. They might still be around."
Right.
So
Yeah.
I guess we'll see.
I mean, I know
I hope they figure it out.
I do too, man.
Yeah, of course.
All those people are lovely, and Adam, if you're listening, you're a fucking sweetheart.
You
I
are.
love you. I hope you know that.
Yeah.
Please keep coming in.
It's not like,
I would love to see them.
And sometimes all of us owners go through all kinds of changes where maybe we're in, maybe we're out.
Yeah.
Right?
You guys have been through that a little bit yourselves.
Yeah, that is true.
Can you tell us about that?
I mean, COVID was rough for everybody.
Right.
Right. I mean, I would say that for an establishment that got restricted the way that bars and restaurants did, Ron knows.
Yeah,
it,
for sure.
it was
Horrible.
Yeah, it was rough. So, I mean, we got to a point where, for a lot of that time, we had 25% occupancy.
Mm-hmm.
We're already a small space to begin with. Luckily, by stroke of brilliance, we ended up buying a crowler machine, and we had invested in a cooler right before COVID hit. You know, and if we didn't have that crowler machine and we hadn't had that cooler, I don't know if we'd be here talking to you guys right now.
Sure.
So it was just very much it was tough. I mean, and we had spent 3 years building, watching year over year kind of increase in sales. And
I mean, we were at the peak at 2019, finally fixing our own stupidity and my poor beer buying habits, which is just buying everything, and just to a point where we're like finally starting to see the returns of our choices, and then it's
get a
just
green year
ripped away, right?
Fucking hell.
I remember sitting in the bar, 25% occupancy, drinking a barley wine. I had some regulars there sitting apart, and I just yelled out, "This bar sucks." and my regulars like, "It's your bar." I said, "I know," and I crushed my barley wine and left. And at the time we had we went from 14 employees to 2, right?
Yeah.
And Brooke and Blaine ran the show throughout COVID, right? And
Right.
and I just said, hey, you're not going to see us much because it's just not our forte. Plus, the impacts of our families, having a career, opening a bar, running a bar,
Yeah.
and watching our kids just flash, right?
Right.
There's a lot of choices we had to make, and we thought we made the right choice. And I guess D&D on Fridays doesn't work, right? But it all works out for a reason, and I think some people here at this table were at our farewell party, right?
Sure was.
And but that was a good night, though. I think it re-energized us, and we made the changes that we had, and we're still here.
Yeah. So you guys lined up to sell, and then very last minute, obviously everything changed. And yeah, we kind of joked about you having like this kind of small resurgence in business ever since that happened. Do you feel like it's just sort of like a change of the times, or did you guys pivot in a way that made total sense for your business after all of this?
I think we pivoted. We're still not back to pre-19
I don't think anybody is.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
Because everybody's
right?
pivoted. There's new habits being formed.
Yeah.
So we
Buying
modified
online.
to say yes to as much as we have, but with hospitality changes and the cost of living changes, people are spending less money, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
And our businesses thrive on people wanting to buy stupid shit.
Word.
And so
Speaking of
think,
which, I have beer for both of you guys.
I know for me and AJ, we had to attack the different business in a different way.
Mhm.
We couldn't keep doing Thursday night Brewers Night every night because they kind of changed anyway. We had to make better choices to spend time with our family. But we have an amazing team. Our assistant manager sitting right here. They help us function and still have a life outside of the tap room, right?
That's good.
And without them,
What do you know about that, Ron?
Yeah, really.
Without that, I don't know if Cascades would exist at this point,
Mhm.
right? And so we want to cultivate leaders and train people to run a business, and trust in them, right?
You don't have to answer this if you don't want to. What were they going to call it? Do you remember?
Whistle Stop.
Whistle Stop.
Which is in rented.
Fucking
Yes.
the collective sigh of
Well,
disappointment
you want to know
in
the
the
original
industry.
name?
No, what?
Rainier Barcade.
Oh my God.
Yo,
So first of all, wasn't there a whistle stop in Freight House Square?
there's been a whistle stop
there's one in
in
Renton.
every zip code.
Yeah.
At every
Also
turn.
Rainier, really?
Rainier, well, first
Rainier.
the guys were like Rainier Barcade. I'm like, you can't
do that.
No, you can't.
And they're like, why? And I said,
Ben is the
because
nicest person on this planet.
everybody will
He will
leave.
still, nobody will come. Ben will still cut your tires.
You will, yeah. But I think ultimately it worked
and then
out because I don't
bicycle
think
away.
that long-term deal would have worked out, right?
Yeah. Oh, we all met him.
I remember. I remember you guys came down, and you guys made side bets and had squares, and you didn't invite us.
Yeah, that's true. I can't remember what Gary's over under was. Wasn't great.
Yeah, but you know what? Things, like I said at the meeting, sometimes you ask for change, and then change throws change back at you, right? And it's,
Jesus.
Thankfully, we have awesome wives that allow us to dabble in this hobby that we've created for ourselves, and without the support of them and the operations that they perform in the business, again, still wouldn't exist.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely true.
We're glad you're still here.
Yeah.
And we totally would have still had you guys on the podcast.
Speaking of family time, though, too, I want to say that it is kid friendly at Cascades, and we have spent family time there as a non-owner.
Thank
and
you.
It's great. It's a great place to go with kids. So
Appreciate it.
yeah,
Mason
you
and I have
got everything
blown a lot
from
of quarters
shots to pinball for the kids.
Yeah.
And it's great. Yeah, it's awesome. We
I
went
can
there.
have a bourbon and Mason can have a Capri Sun.
Yeah, we went before one of the outdoor concerts on the
Nice.
by the library there.
Well,
in
thanks for
Puyallup.
visiting. We appreciate it.
Do you still have your outdoor space?
No, I got rid of the patio.
Okay.
We got tired of people carrying out their own drinks because
Yeah.
between the 5 feet of sidewalk, when you carry out your own drink and the server doesn't, people can die. And and so we got tired of risking the challenges of that, and I had them remove it a little early. So, it worked a little bit in the reduced occupancy, but after that, it was just kind of more of a nuisance.
Yeah.
I mean, Puyallup runs a what do they call it, a raffle kind of thing, right? For that every year. We've been fortunate enough to be drawn. I'm sure we will probably somewhere or another get drawn next year, right? So we'll have outside seating again. But I don't know if you've sat on Meridian there.
Well, I mean, the
traffic
Wicked Pie one just got
zinging
hit
by.
like a week ago.
No
Like,
way.
Like literally got hit. Nobody was sitting there.
Thank
but
God. Holy
I call it
shit.
adrenaline drinking. Like if you're really tough, you face your back to Meridian. If you're not, you just face the front because you're soft. So
Well, thankfully, they're not on South Hill.
Wow, new nightmare unlocked. Oh my God.
I wanted to put seatbelts on the benches, but no.
Potential
Sends the wrong
customers
message.
want you to know we have them put in a barrier in front of ours. So thanks, Andy, for that. we do the best we can to protect you out there on the road.
Right, nice.
Oh my God. I'm super excited for Brewallup. Yeah, and I appreciate you guys coming to hang out.
I appreciate you having us. So, I mean, we don't have the depth of history in this industry, but man, great people. I love Larry's podcast last
Wasn't
week.
that wonderful?
Oh,
I
man.
love it.
Larry's
I
a
mean,
fucking legend.
Rubens is one of my top favorite breweries anyway, and Larry's just solid. We actually were supposed to have a Halloween bash with Larry, and I forgot to confirm. I promoted it as Larry being there, and he couldn't make it because of my own busyness.
Oh,
right?
no.
It was great. He's like, "I'm sorry, I didn't know." I was like, "No, I didn't reply to your text." So.
At least you could admit it and didn't blame it on him.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing we've learned in this industry, is that we come from a hyper competitive construction industry where it is rough. It is cutthroat. Everybody's out to make a dollar, and you get into beer, and we thought this will be something fun. It's something different, right? This will be way less stressful than trying to negotiate like $1 million, low margin orders for construction material. And what we didn't realize is how collaborative it is, right? And it is very much like more of a, it's like an artistic community where everybody wants to support everybody else.
Right.
And I don't think that people really understand that that's how this works, right? I mean, you're out, you go buy a beer. You don't understand that the beer that's sitting next to that beer on the shelf, right? Like those brewers want the beer on the left of them and the right of them to be successful.
That's 100% true.
And I don't know. I mean, that has been like the most inspiring thing. I feel like going through this process, opening a business, getting ingrained in this industry, meeting incredible people, and just realizing like, man, if every industry worked like this, we'd have world peace,
Dude,
Yes,
here,
yes.
fucking word. That's a bar, AJ. And then you get to a point where you're collaborating with a business that you in every aspect should be competing with, and you're like, no, let's do a thing together, because high tides, man. It's beautiful.
We did one.
Yep, we did at E9. Yep.
Awesome.
And even us in the Red Hot, and that was Why Can't We Be Friends IPA.
We got a bunch of.
I mean, everybody
reviews
told
doing
us because
hot
when we
dogs.
started, we had. I mean, a lot of people don't know the story of why we have hot dogs, but I mean, that was something that I brought about originally. Obviously, we've changed because we don't have the foot traffic of 6th Ave, and you'll go broke trying to sell $4 items, right? But yeah, I mean, the Red Hot. Obviously, we started because my wife was at TG for a long time when our second son was born as a preemie, and we were there for like 5 weeks. And I'd get Tuesday nights out, and I'd go to the Red Hot, and that's when I was still new to craft beer, so I'd get a good craft beer, get a hot dog, and so when COVID came, Chris reached out about crowlers, right? And then we started talking because he had did a post thanking us, right? And I was like, we should do a collab. And he's like, what do we call it? Why Can't We Be Friends IPA? And he's like, why? And I said, because everybody said you would hate me. And
that is true. We did all think he was going to hate you.
And so, but
I don't know why we do that, because Chris is the nicest fucking person.
Yeah, totally.
But we just assume he's like the Don of the hot dog mafia in
sure,
the South Sound.
Sure.
So.
But no, it's been done great collabs with great breweries and great friends, and definitely, half the people I interact with every week came from this industry, right? So, so it's a good time.
It's a beautiful thing.
Nice. All right, Grit and Grainers, email us at cheers@gritandgrainpodcast.com with your comments, opinions, and new game ideas for Cascades, such as Puyallup River Bridge Chutes and Ladders, South Hill Frogger, Exploding Daffodils, Cheating Wife Hunter, Guardians of the Galaxy Vape Shop, Six Pack Man, Junkyards Against Humanity, and Gin Rummy. We read and drink everything we receive, and we try to respond as quickly as we can. If not online, then on air. You can subscribe to Grit and Grain on Amazon, Apple Music, Spotify, Google Play, iHeartRadio, and Stitcher, and please leave us a review. Also, check us out on Channel 253 and gritandgrainpodcast.com. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram for episode notes, beer news, and how AJ and Andy came up with Cascades name by closing their eyes, slowly breathing, and removing all barriers of self. Then realizing Pierce County is one big, hazy, gorgeous, big-headed, neurotic, blissful freak show of awesome beer meets landmark names. Possibilities such as Keg Taps, Dry Hop, Smoothie Sour Kapowson, Bungmeyer, Eaton Chill Haze, and of course, Brewallup. If this podcast is not what you expected, please alter your expectations. Happy National American Beer Day! Cheers. Yeah, no clue. It's not April 7th, but that's a thing. We're still encouraged to drink American beer today, so let's drink to alcohol. Let's celebrate celebrating. Let's revel in the art of revelry. Let's toast to toasting, and everyone drink up in observance of drinking up. And what could be more brilliantly simple-minded and cultural worthy? No such thing as a bad time to visit Tacoma. Woo! No such thing as too much barley wine. Woo! Tune in next Friday for more sweet chatter. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers! Cheating wife hunter.
Oh, man. Thanks again for tuning in. Don't forget to follow us at Grit and Grain Podcast wherever you get your social media and catch new episodes every Friday. Cheers.
Good up.
Channel 253 is a member-supported podcast network. I'm producer Doug Mackey, and I'm asking you to become a member and show your support. Go to channel253.com/membership to join. Thank you. Grit and Grain is part of the Channel 253 podcast network. Check out our other shows: Nerd Farmer, Interchangeable White Ladies, Move to Tacoma, Crossing Division, Citizen Tacoma, What Say You, We Are Tacoma, Flounders B Team, and Taco Man.
This is Channel 253.